Hi-yo, everybody. It's good to see you. Welcome to Crypto Night in Canada. Dun, 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 dun. And it's Wednesday after Labor Day. How fun is this? Hi, everybody. I know Ken will be on in a minute. He just said he's running a little bit behind.
Late, but he's texting us, and I'm scratching my head going, if you're running late and you're texting us, it's like...
Yeah, and so I got Candace in the house, and Marie-Claude is here, and obviously Nikki, and I think Journey was the first one to post, and Ryan. Hey, Ryan, how are you? So we're really excited tonight. Neil will be here. He's putting the kids to bed. Ken's on his way.
Getting his horses ready.
Getting his horses ready. And so I just wanted to remind everybody who our special guest is tonight. It's Dave Cowan. It's David, or is it Dave? Can we call you Dave?
Either way.
Hey, Kyle, how are you? So, Dave, if everybody remembered, a few weeks ago, we had Dave on a special Sunday night session. Dave is the inventor of Arkplate, and we finally got our Arkplate in, and we're so excited to get it open.
Look at this. It's online live. I'm going to rip it
off. You open it. There you go.
We've been waiting for
it's not coffee. It's money.
It's protecting our money.
Oh. What did you do in the bag before you sent it?
What is it? This is like Christmas. Open it. Look at
there it is.
Go.
Hey, look at that, folks.
Oh my gosh. I want to see it.
Wow, it's heavy. Can you use both hands? It's heavy.
Oh my gosh, it is heavy.
It is.
This is really super cool. So, Dave, maybe while I'm looking and playing with this, maybe you can...
Look at this.
Oh, we got the marker, and it came with the little hammer-do thing.
The hammer-do thing?
The hammer thing.
That's a scientific term.
That's a scientific term. Hey, Moonbright, how are you?
I keep it beside the doohickey.
So,
look at this. We got dye.
Oh, this is so much fun. Okay.
Hang on.
Remind everybody, just quickly before Ken comes on.
High roll goes. Yeah, no, remind everybody again about what this product in a nutshell.
So my name's Dave. I'm from Arkplate.com. So I manufacture cold wallets or asset recovery keys that are used to keep your recovery phrases safe to access your wallets. Things like your Ledger's 24-word phrase, your Atomic Wallet 12-word phrase. And what these are 316 stainless steel plates, and you convert them using the sheet as shown by Tim there, and convert them into numbers. And once your words are converted into numbers, you use a center punch and record them onto these stainless steel plates. There's a tutorial on the website. This is a really brief explanation, but I make a universal 24-word model, as well as a model for the Sum Wallet by XRPL Labs, meant for XRP and other currencies. Comes with a steel center punch, as well as a Sharpie marker for you to be able to pre-mark your dots before you permanently mark them. And this is what they look like when you complete a wallet and record your numbers. So really sweet, simple option. They're $30 Canadian, about 25 US dollars, and they're available now. And if you're really interested in securing your crypto, they're fireproof, waterproof, hack-proof, permanent.
Remind me what the dice are for again.
Yeah, what are the dice for?
If you download the Sum Wallet, We'd Say Wind built in a feature in collaboration with myself where rather than being assigned keys, whenever you open an Atomic Wallet or Sum Wallet or Ledger, they hand you a set of words and you're supposed to write them down, and those are your words. You can't choose them. So what We'd Say did when he got developing with me is he made a specific feature where you can scan the barcode. You'll see it on the Sum sheet in your pile of papers there. There's a barcode. If you download the Sum Wallet, you can choose to get a pre-assigned code or recovery keys. And it's right on the other side there. There you go, that barcode. So if you open your Sum Wallet app and you scan that barcode, and the picture's on my website as well, it will enter a special mode within Sum that allows you to manually enter and create your own keys rather than being pre-assigned keys. So it is offline key generation, and you're not relying on some random computer somewhere generating your keys for you. And the dice are a way of randomizing your numbers rather than you choosing things like days in your life and years and stuff, which it sounds like a good idea, but anything that is linked to you is something that can be guessed. It is much easier for it to be a random number that is randomly generated offline, and you just use the 10-sided dice to do that.
I love this. But
Nancy will have these open by the end of the show.
I know. I trust
They're
you.
Nancy proof. They're Nancy proof.
I can't like.
Give her a hard candy like a Werther's, crunch, it's gone.
Yeah.
Give her this, takes her all day.
I know.
Any more than 2 in a package, I have to tape them together so they don't rattle and hit each other in shipping.
And as true to form, you said it all fit into this, man. It was neat
did.
and tidy into this, and it was just all came in this one little bag, and it was like very, very cool. Let me see that.
And I know it's really good. I finally got it out. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
What a great invention, and I just loved that it's a Canadian company, and you're a Canadian success story. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
That's funny. Yeah, and Ryan saying, "Look at Smash the Like." Nancy's excited. I am excited because you know what? Truthfully, crypto's got some scary parts to it, and one of the scary parts is that you don't want to lose your coin. You don't want to lose your seed phrases. You don't want to lose your security stuff. And where do you put this? And like a piece of paper can get lost, but this is much harder to lose.
Yep.
Hey, welcome. We got Neil and Ken in the house. Neil and Ken, I know that you haven't had a chance to meet Dave yet, but Ken was the one that sent us the link in the story about what your product was. So I know Ken was excited to meet you and talk to you, and our package just arrived. I know you guys didn't see us opening it, but it's really cool.
All right,
Hey, Dave. Nice to meet you guys.
So we got some stuff going on in the crypto world, huh?
Yeah, like Satama.
Okay. Let's get the Satama out of the way.
Bitcoin and Ethereum went like this, and Satama went like this.
Okay, so why would that be, and what would be the correlation there?
I don't know. I really don't know. Because normally everything goes down, everything else is down, but Satama, it went up. I'm at 2.5x right now.
Wow.
Jeez. That's incredible. It's here we go. I mean, you saw these crypto starting to go through and get through the 52. It kind of went over 52 for Bitcoin. Ethereum was getting up close. I don't know if it ever peaked over 4 or not. I'm starting to get excited there because I hold a little bit of ETH, and all of a sudden, what the hell overnight? And it seemed, is it me or was it because El Salvador? People were pumping El Salvador, or something going on with El Salvador, who adopted it as their an official currency in their country now, and that's what pooched all the currencies. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. I think there's got to be a correlation there though, because it's just so odd.
My thoughts on that, especially with El Salvador adopting Bitcoin, is that it was, in my opinion, market manipulation by U.S. and other global leaders who are holding back. And as soon as the currency got adopted, it dipped so that anybody who immediately got into it in El Salvador, when it was legalized and made a currency, immediately suffered a massive loss, which is very discouraging and makes it look really bad. And I personally think that's what the case was. In addition to that, I got a text message the morning before the dip from my friend who said, by the way, there's some kind of big Bitcoin dump and pump thing that's going to happen tomorrow morning. I said, okay, well, another rumor, I'm not going to listen to it. And sure enough, the market crapped the bed. So I think it was pre-planned and organized and has some kind of relation to specifically El Salvador adopting it and discouraging other countries from doing so by making people suffer immediate loss.
Now, Dan, one in our comments, says he felt that the whales were selling in order to lower the price for more El Salvador people to buy. But that, I'm not sure if the correlation isn't the other way around. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, go ahead, Neil.
Just smells like, if you look at the chart, it just drops, right? So I guess I've been around long enough now to know when something stinks, and I'm just kind of, I've actually, we'll go into this later. I haven't even looked at charts. Like I'm digging through NFTs. Like I'm gone. Like I'm almost ready to move all my money into NFTs and just go that route. So
I know, and
You've
I
had
can't.
enough horsing around.
No.
Not
I
even-
can't
not
wait
even
to
close.
hear about that in a few minutes. But we had a lot to talk about. So
But
just
it seems very fishy, is what I would say.
yeah, it did seem fishy for sure. So
And Ryan is right. There was a lot of the president of El Salvador was tweeting up a storm as well.
yeah,
He was actually what was he doing? Sort of play by play as he was actually buying more Bitcoin. On the tweet.
It was pretty exciting yesterday, actually. So, anyways, so tell me a little bit more about. Oh my gosh, I just totally lost my train of thought.
We were talking about
I know.
Bitcoin
Oh,
manipulation.
Welcome to
I
Crypto
know.
Night in Canada.
You know what I was thinking was talking about now the SEC's going after Coinbase. And so what are you guys thinking of that? Like, it just feels like they haven't solved the one problem with XRP yet. And now they're jumping into this can of worms.
And is it because the Coinbase is mulling over the thought that they're now going to start lending, and the SEC is saying, well, now you're a security because you're lending?
See, my thoughts on that are, when it comes to lending, you're very quickly putting banks out of business when you do that. So I don't think they care about it being securities offerings. It's that they are protecting the banks, which keep them going. If the banks don't exist anymore, then they don't really have much to rule over from their ivory tower, right? So that's my thought. It's just another jab to try and stop this from happening before the US government mainly releases some form of CBDC, which they can control lending on, and then offer that and say, this is already approved, but everything else is a security because they're not the CBDCs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So just before we went live, Dave and Tim and I were talking about if we think that we should be worried about the Bitcoin dip.
And I cut you off, David, because we had to go live.
Okay. Well, we'll start with the other guys first, and I'll offer mine. I've talked to Fair now. So
It's crypto. Why would you worry about a dip? Really? Seriously.
I know. I'm not so worried
I've seen
about
worse.
it. As we've seen worse, but do you think it's going to hit a new support mechanism, or do you think that we're going to see it go lower? Do you think we're going to where do you guys think this is going at this point in time? Candace made a comment earlier today on Facebook, and I'll tell you what she said, but what do you guys think? Or maybe she can put it in the comments.
Well, if Bitcoin's going to be used in El Salvador to purchase products and services, it's going to cause more of a stability in the price. That's for sure. Depends on how much they use it, though, because there's, 3/4 of the country's uneducated on it, so they really don't want it, from what I've read. So
Interesting. Neil?
I'm much more of a fundamentals guy. I definitely don't read charts, and I'm not a trader anymore. I don't try that anymore. But I think crypto in general, I don't think you're going to be able to stop it now. I think I'm very pessimistic. I think the reason why they're going after Coinbase is to line their coffers, which are quite empty right now with the pandemic. And I think you're going to see that they're going to settle with one, go after another. It's going to come to the end. They're going to set up the next piece, and they're going to take a piece of every pie until they're happy or they've got in how they want. Like, I think that's how they're going to get theirs.
It's like being in New York and being protected.
Yeah.
Aren't they digging,
Well,
aren't they digging into Uniswap as well? I thought I read something.
There's something going on with Uniswap as well.
It's because
Yeah.
Uniswap's not fully decentralized, right? Because they've got the foundation. It's Uniswap. I was looking into that one. That one's a little bit more interesting because there are decentralized aspects to the exchange, like the actual exchange. But as you go deeper, they're much more centralized. So that one, but once again, they're going after the biggest decentralized exchange, right? Like, they're not going after the small ones that are breaking rules. They're going after ones that might be breaking rules, and it's because it's a much more lucrative payday. And That's my overall look. But I think it's Panama or Panama City, probably the same place. I'm being ignorant now, and I apologize for that. But they're looking at adopting Bitcoin, ETH, and all cryptocurrencies, but not forcing merchants to take it. That's the next step. So you're already seeing the next domino, right? And I think that you're going to continue to see this, and it's one of the reasons why I think like it's going to be a bull market. And I've never been part of an actual crash in a bear market, but I'm wondering if this is going to start to change the fundamentals, and that the bear market will be shorter or a little bit less severe because there's going to be a lot more adoption. I'm just looking at it long term, and I think my investments, like even though it seems like anytime I buy, it goes down, I feel very confident long term.
See, this time last year, I was I must have been out in some protected land, thinking that because all of this is all decentralized, that it's untouchable. It's like the banks won't be able to come in, or they can't come in. And obviously, the more this goes on, it's like they're getting their pinkies in everything. And at what point does it really not become that separate anymore?
See, the way I see it is a lot of the coins and tokens that are going around and how countries are going to adopt them. The biggest thing is the banks are always going to win and the governments are always going to win. And as idealistic and utopian as it is to think of full decentralization when it comes to digital assets, things like going after Uniswap, they don't follow any anti-money laundering or anti-terrorism rules. You can just go on and swap. You don't have to have records. They don't even offer, to my knowledge, records keeping that is true. Yes, you can explore the blockchain and go back and manually extract wallet to wallet transactions and fees. But in the grand scheme of things, if they're not following the rules that banks must follow, that is why they're being targeted. And the same thing goes with crypto that are trying to be money. And I think that is going to be the first part of the industry that truly gets hit. Bitcoin, while it's the first and the big one, it's trying to be a currency. There are plenty of other examples of things that are trying to be money when the banks and the governments are never going to allow them to actually be money when CBDCs are an option. Same thing with people who think that XRP will eventually be a global currency. I don't think so. I think it will be a bridge that allows you to take sub tokens on the XRP DEX, decentralized exchange, which can be issued by individual countries as individual currencies, and allows you to bridge between those currencies much easier. But being a currency itself, no dice. It's not going to work. Too many people already have it. And it's kind of like handing everybody $1 billion each and saying, okay, this is now money. So I think that's really what they're starting to do, is find what we've called use case up until now, where what is trying to be money will eventually disappear or have to change its purpose or the way that it is used. Exchanges that don't follow essentially being the exact same rules that a bank must follow are going to disappear. And tokens that have purpose, things like NFTs you were talking about there. NFTs are blooming, and we're starting to see what they can be used for. Are they going to wind up being art? No. That's not their purpose. A deed for a house, a deed for property, a contract that cannot be broken, that cannot be forged. That's what an NFT will be, not some random pixel art. Yeah, you can do it, but realistically, at the end of the day, if you can move a house's deed and land tax bills and all that in a single NFT permanently on the blockchain and allow its market value to fluctuate, essentially you won't need a real estate office.
Right.
You can just buy an NFT and that's your house. You own that property because it's on the blockchain. So we're starting to see every currency coin be challenged because of CBDCs and the eventual adoption. We're starting to see NFTs show their true purpose, illegible ownership, or immutable ownership, I should say, of that particular thing, whatever you want to tokenize, your car, your property, your mortgage contract, a loan contract. That's what they're for.
Yeah.
And this is what I think they are moving towards. And every one of these little kind of ripples we see in the market, you can kind of go back, well, that's probably why they're doing it, is because they're moving towards AML, anti-terrorism, that kind of stuff, as well as actually using these for what their intended purpose should be. And again, the banks are always going to win. That's just how it is.
Yeah, and I will say when I used to work at the Royal Bank, when I first started my career a long time ago, my first job outside of university, I was the non-negotiable officer. And so what that was to your point, Dave, I was in charge of non-negotiable security. So when say I worked in business banking, so if somebody was using their home as collateral to get a business loan, I used to have to go and I'd have to search the title, who had and how much was on that home. It would take me, I would have to pen out weeks and weeks and weeks in advance of before that security was coming due, because I had to actually go to the physical courthouse and I had to go in there and stand in line. I had to work with a clerk and we had to search titles. And then I had to give her my list and then I would leave and then I would come back to do it again. And then it got really exciting because we could use a fax machine to fax it from our office.
Like an Ethereum wallet. You've got the Ethereum wallet where you use Ethereum as a gas token, not as a currency or something like that. It's just, it allows transactions to take place and allows you to pay fees. That's what Ethereum's purpose is. And you can have in that single wallet address sub-tokens that you can issue NFTs on, where you can have things like deeds, mortgage, contracts, loans. You can have all sorts of any other tokens, things like Quant, a utility token to run the Overledger network, where you can have essentially game tokens that allow you to access a piece of software or a function of whatever industry you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where your job, all you would have had to do, you would have had to open that Ethereum wallet address and it would display every sub token type and deed coin and how many deeds does this person have, and loan coin, how many loans do they have and what are the contracts and the times and the value. So you could replace most of the banking industry with an Ethereum wallet, and boom, there is everything in all your subdivisions of whatever tokens that do every single individual purpose right across the board. So I think that's what
it's interesting. I'm wondering though whether Solana, because you've seen all the news on Solana and it moving like crazy right now, and maybe Ken might have more information or Dave jump in on this one. But I think to your point, Dave, all of that stuff which is being built on Ethereum right now, I think Solana's moving in and taking a position here because it's a lot cheaper. If we're going to go to, as you say, everything being available for view on the blockchain, which is probably where everything is going to go, it needs to be done in a manner which is not going to cost an arm and a leg to move, view, do anything.
Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, I can see that happening because personally myself, I'm really pissed off with the Ethereum network and the fees. It's just, it's insane. I've made so many gains on certain coins that are locked up in a certain DEX that in order for me to actually cash them out, it's going to cost me at least 25% of my gains.
Yeah.
That's worse than a bank. That is worse than a bank, man.
And can you swap any of those out of there, like through Uniswap or any of those things?
Well, it's all Ethereum based, so it's all going to be.
It won't matter. It won't matter.
It's all going to be connected to a gas fee, right? Like I mean,
either
way,
every transaction requires gas. Even just in MetaMask, and just to swap one coin for another, you still got to pay gas on top of that. And it's like, really, you guys are an exchange that actually have the coin there. So, personally, myself, I hate to say it, but it seems to me it's better to actually leave your coins on an exchange. And I really hate to say that. However, for quick moves, you can't do a quick move in Ethereum unless you got $1,000 sitting in your account just to pay for fees.
Yeah, it's discouraging because
and then you got Solano coming along, cheaper fees. It's being adopted very quickly.
A lot
Why
of
not?
NFT action on Solana right now.
The more I've learned about it, the more I'm thinking of telling Tim I want to move some out of ETH and into Solano.
I wouldn't move it right now.
Not right now, but I am thinking about it for a long-term hold.
Yeah.
Well, layer
one
will be very profitable.
Fees drop at all.
Yeah. Now Kyle's saying wait for mainnet swap, and Verina's going. Omi is on a good run. Yes, it is, Verena. I'm holding tight on my Omi. I'm not moving that until that thing does what I think it can do. Are you holding any NFT tokens, Dave, at all? We know Neil is, and we know Ken, you holding some, right? NFT tokens?
No, not
None?
yet. I was looking into it, and I was just like, I got to put on the brakes. So I'm not spending any more money right now.
Yeah.
I'm at my year max, so I'm just playing with what I have.
Personally, I don't really see NFTs as an investment for me at this point. I'm focusing mainly on utility tokens.
Yeah.
And I only own ETH so that I can pay my gas fees. And beyond that, it is like I don't own any Bitcoin. Only you'll have ETH to pay gas fees. I don't even consider it to be an investment. While it does earn some occasionally, I don't even look at the price. Whatever it is whatever it is. So it's just there to pay gas. Give
us some ideas of some of the tokens you might that you're holding as far as utility is concerned.
So other than some of the standard ones, I've got I keep just the same OCD. I just keep the same number of tokens of everything rather than focusing on buying a certain dollar amount of each. So I own the same number of tokens of XRP, XLM, Algo, Cardano, 88, HBAR Hedera, VeChain, as well as VThor. I've also got Alliance Block, Cargo X, and LCX Exchange. And I've got less coins of Quant. And Quant is my smallest number of tokens, but highest value holding.
Well, Journey would be happy because he loves HBAR. I think he even posted it in here that that he loved it too.
How's Cargo X performing?
Cargo X has been doing okay. It kind of suffered a little bit. It's down 33% for this 7-day period, but it had a pump before everything else. It was kind of pumping along with Quant. Quant. And
can you explain for the community what Cargo X is?
Yeah, so Cargo X CXO is a bill of lading technology to improve the shipping industry. Right now, there's something like $50 billion each year are lost due to bill of lading mistakes in the shipping industry for cargo ships and that kind of stuff. So what Cargo X is, it's a patented technology to streamline shipping processes as well as the tracking and kind of scans along the path of where it is supposed to be. It's pretty interesting, but the biggest thing that interests me is that it's a patented technology, which means no competitors. So if they succeed, nobody else can copy the way that they are succeeding. So there are lots of other ways to do what they're doing, but the fact that they have a patent is a big deal. So same thing like Quant has got patents for its overledger technology. So I try to focus on people who already have their foot in the door when it comes to that kind of stuff, where I don't have to worry about 15 different Ethereums coming up with 15 different ways of paying gas and all that. If one of them held a patent, that would be the one I would invest in because they've already got their foot in the door for having the paperwork.
Is Cargo X a Ethereum based?
Yeah, I was just going to ask that. I'm just looking it up.
It is okay.
Yep, it is.
Are all of yours Ethereum based?
Most of them. Actually, I think all of them are. Let me check my list. Yes, all of the sub tokens I've got a bunch of ERC20, and then obviously the ones that are independent. But all the main ones I go for are Ethereum based.
Okay.
Boy, and it's not at its all-time high, so that's good.
Nope, far from it.
No, this is really an interesting one, especially because we're having so much troubles with the supply chain. But we won't get me all. Yeah, but Cargo X is all about the ship.
It's the trees.
But he also has a holding in that, so the two in tandem probably could really, right? And so, I actually recently bought VeChain after looking at it for a while. So
yep, and
I'm kind of in the same way. I'm actually jumping into NFTs. But I am very interested in usage with the coins that I am collecting. I'm looking at a long-term adoption, and the more useful a coin is, the more likely it is to be adopted, as well as how easy an interface is. And as someone like I just turned 40, and I'm looking at it, and that is the weakness in my crypto game right now is my technical skills. is jumping from one network to another, and why I also like the exchanges in that sense, because it is, you can even sell or put in sell orders if you really wanted to, and just, set your that. But it's one of the reasons, getting back to the whole ETH cost, it's why I went to the Matic network, because it is layer 3 on top of ETH, and it's fractional transactions. It's also what Phantom, which I didn't buy when I was also planning on buying it in VeChain. It's also a layer 3 on top of ETH and scaling and so on, right? So lowering transactions. So I think you are seeing the migration already happening. It's just whether you want to start on a full new chain or layer 1, right? And I haven't gotten into Cardano or into that ecosystem, just because I am new, and I'm trying to stay, lower scale in like what I'm focusing on. Because that was a big mistake I made early on, is I had everything. I had 2 exchanges and at least, 10 to 15 coins on each exchange. And like, what the hell was I doing?
It's too hard. It's too many balls in the air.
Yep.
Unless I'm holding them all forever, It's like they're all 10-year holds.
Yep.
That's
They
awesome.
Are? What?
No, they weren't.
I want to say, wait a minute.
They were my pretty little pets.
That's it. So this is really exciting. So you've also got XRP and Cardano.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you feeling about the SEC decisions, or lack thereof, or court case, or anything else XRP related?
I think they're trying to make an example out of Ripple because they're in the States. And again, my honest opinion is they are trying to bury them, and everyone is kind of going hurrah and fighting for it. And no matter what the outcome, they're going to be able to keep going, whether it's a fine or whether they're cleared, they're going to keep going. But what it is going to do is stop other companies from doing what Ripple has already done. Not so much to push Ripple ahead as a company, but to prevent competition for what the US has planned for their CBDC and their final digital currency. Because every competitor that comes out who can do what Ripple does, and the way that they do it, is something else to basically push part of the market away from the idea of wanting the CBDC. And we could even find that they're trying to get the technology from Ripple. I mean, it's open source. Anybody can really steal it and use it. But I wouldn't be surprised if we wind up seeing a fine and you guys allow us to copy it and directly use all of your technology to run our own CBDC without royalties. So it would make sense. They could do that. That way the government would control the master token that pays the fees and does the interchange. And then the US government could actually collateralize and back any sub-assets that they put on their own, we'll call it DEX, but CEX, there we go, centralized exchange run by the government using whatever, the USA token that is exactly the same as XRP. It's just a different network, but it's literally a copy, just like XLM. So
yeah.
So what would the CBDCs be based off of? It's not.
You want to know what it's backed by, like what the liquidity will be backed by?
Well, it'd be the same as, I don't know.
The US dollar, nothing.
Well, yeah, that's
my thought would be they would do
a hope and a prayer.
Like basically as cash disappears, because it's obviously they don't want cash anymore.
Right.
My thought and how they're going to try to handle it is they will, as cash starts to come back to banks and digital asset, whatever that US digital dollar becomes, as cash goes back to banks, it will be taken to central vaults like Fort Knox or whatever, and they will actually exchange the money and destroy the cash as they print more digital dollars, which you can do on, again, DEX, the CEX, centralized exchange for the USA coin. They can just basically hit a button and instantly print more. And all you do is just have a monkey at a desk who says, here's $100,000. I burn it. I hit make $100,000 in the CEX, and there we go. That's 100,000, and you can do this with pretty much any other value. Same thing with whatever gold they've got in Fort Knox. All you do is collateralize the value in Fort Knox onto the blockchain, and every time a gold bar leaves Fort Knox, you take $80,000 off of the CEX in whatever US dollar gold coins. So I think it's going to be vaulting and collateralizing and exchanging physical assets value either by destruction or vaulting into digital dollars. That way you're not printing whatever the US has got, like 30 something trillion dollars floating around the world. They don't instantly print $30 trillion more. They as one goes down, what the other one goes up. So as they release physical assets, they're, in theory, provided they're not going to be corrupt about it, as they release physical assets into the world, they decrease the supply of tokens. And as they move stuff into their vaults and get it away from the market, they can increase the cash value of the digital dollar.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense. We're already kind of living in a digital currency world anyways. So what you're saying does make a lot of sense. And they barely have to do any of it because we're moving money around. I mean,
I think what I'm having a really hard time swallowing is, where is our personal security in using CBDCs compared to cash in my hand?
Yeah, because you're taking a US dollar that's worth crap and turning it into a digital coin worth crap. Really.
But my personal security, not
for.
my investment, my personal security is, it's easy, what you giveth, you taketh, so it's like they give us this CBDC and it's like, for some unknown reason, it's like, we can just push a button as easy as we gave it to you and issued it, and we can take it, and they can track it, they can see everything, and it's like,
right?
What's that?
Isn't there going to be expiry dates, or is that?
Well, it's all hearsay right now, right?
Yeah, but they could, right? They really could.
Oh, they could do anything they see. That's the thing; they can do anything they want once it's adopted.
Yeah,
I think that's the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But if this happens, won't this kind of push people away from? Won't it make people more divided against the government?
Oh, we're not divided now.
More than now.
We're not divided now
because now it's another sever to control, right? It's another sever to control. The government's trying to control yet again. Mm-hmm. And
that's it. I'm moving to Greenland.
And it's with technology that the NSA probably already had. However, we're using it, common folk, so
there's a reason why Elon's trying to get to Mars. It's because it's his prototype's up there and he wants it back.
I thought it was to see his family.
Oh.
You guys.
Or is he from Uranus?
Oh, you guys. Oh, ba-dum-bum. Switching gears. How about them Cowboys?
Oh, I still want to say something, but I can't.
No, do not say anything. So quickly, I want to find out from Neil, did you get your stable done? What have you done with the horses? Have you bought a horse?
Are they considered stable coins now?
It could be, I guess.
I think it's called My Little Pony, isn't it?
Stable quarter horses?
Well, as you can see, I've been raising the barn, so it's still an ongoing project in that sense. I've actually added a filly and a colt.
So you put a barn together. So you got you bought land on Decentraland. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay, so where did you put so you bought two horses?
Yeah, so I was on OpenSea, so it's a marketplace. So I've bought two horses through there. If crypto went very well and things became quite lucrative, would I be purchasing land for my ranch, my digital ranch in Decentraland? So that would be very optimistic. Here, why don't I share my screen and I'll pull them up?
Yeah, let's see your ponies. And have you named them, or do they have a name to them?
I'll explain the first name. I was on Haas's show on Saturday, and I went and looked on my. I'll share my screen and tell you. So
okay. You remember how to do it from last time?
I think so.
Okay.
So just to get everybody up to speed while you're doing that, and to let Dave know. So Neil is very, very interested in racing virtual horses. Or not racing necessarily yet, but breeding virtual horses. Yes. Sure and we had a little tutorial last week, so we wanted to follow up and see if Neil, in fact, ran forward and bought anything.
Yeah. So am I shared?
No, you will.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So this is my first two horses of the stable. The first one is Big Dick Energy.
What?
So that was my nasty surprise. I actually put in an offer.
Easy,
Nancy,
cowboy.
on unnamed foal, and the offer went through. I got an email to just saying like you've got your first, and I went in and it says unnamed foal. So I'm like, oh sweet, and that was like Thursday morning. And so I go in to log in for Haas's show, and I'm like, why the hell does this horse have a name? And of course, it is a female horse named Big Dick Energy. You'll notice that it's
Wait a
actually
minute,
not,
it's a female with that name?
yeah. So I'll go to properties here, and
Properties.
right
The horse
here.
has
So
properties.
she's a filly, and she
Do you just call her
digs-
Pecker for short?
Yeah, we could. She just digs the energy, so that's what she wants. She's a legendary Buterin in buff gold, and I've already got some offers for her, but I'm not selling this well-named horse because it is my first. And then I got in contact with this guy, and what he tries to do is lower the entry to the game to people. So I got in touch with him. I found one of his videos on YouTube, reached out to him on Twitter, and I actually got a really good deal on Doofy's Army. And this one's actually a little bit higher. It's Finian or Finney, Finney. Apparently it's not working. And it's one level higher, and it's a colt, so a male, and it is also a legendary. So for people who didn't see the talk yesterday or last week, here I'll stop sharing. That's my little holding so far. You have 38,000 Genesis horses, and these are the horses that are released from Zed Run, and it's ZED Run is and it's actually not a coin or cryptocurrency. It's run on the blockchain. It was launched on Ethereum, and it migrated to Matic, I think, about 2 months ago. And so basically it's essentially a breeding game where you're going to have max 38,000 horses, and you can breed to different levels, and there's different bloodlines, but it also has a racing capability. So you can also race your horses for ETH. And if it was a good racehorse, you could win. So my plan is to breed these horses, and the going up in the level to the Finian was not planned, but it was a really good deal. It was a great offer, and so I jumped on it. And my plan is to breed these horses with Genesis, which would make them still a legendary, which is the second highest class within each bloodline, and hopefully turn and sell these. Doofy's Army as well as Big Dick Energy also have never been raced. So those are also traits. And that was why I wanted an unnamed foal, because the idea was to breed the horse a couple times, but then sell it to someone who wanted a horse that's never been raced, never been named. So they would still have that, but now it has this lovely name, and I'll just hold it.
So how does it work then? Do you you take your horse and you put it in the I want to breed category, and other people take their horse and your stats mix with a random generator, and then somebody that produces, and what happens? Who gets the horse?
So
who does get the horse?
The owner of the mare, which is a bred horse, gets the foal. So there's actually a stud section on a couple websites right in Zed Run itself. And then you can go to Know Your Horses, which tells you all about the traits, how many times they run. And if you have a winner that's got a great winning percentage, return on investment's great, you can actually charge more to stud that horse. And it's all done through Zed Run. So the one thing I saw, and that is interesting, is you could be, if you have a filly or a mare, you can be very selective with who you breed with. Whereas when you're studying them out, it's whoever, right? You might get some lovely partner like Big Dick Energy, and then be like, they've kind of tarnished my thoroughbred.
Yeah,
but
we have to make an acronym, BDE.
Yeah. So,
and we'll get a little blue pill for BDE.
We'll call her Biggie.
What do you got? I got
Biggie.
a BDE. I need a blue pill.
No, we're calling her Biggie. I love Notorious B.I.G. We'll call her Biggie. So there we go.
So I'm seeing this is like a stepping stone. When I see this kind of thing, it's a fun game that gets you interested in crypto. And when you started talking about that, I thought, this is a stepping stone towards loan sharing, where
Yeah.
two people, multiple loans can combine and breed into a multi-collateralized loan from multiple spaces where you can all share risk. You know, this is a high risk, medium risk, low risk, super low risk, where you can combine, just like of course how the financial system collapsed in 2008 with all the mortgages, where they took all the different tiers and moved them into a single one, where this is a stepping stone towards that type of thing. That's what I look at when I see this. A fun way to get people interested in it, learn how the technology works, have some fun, and maybe make some money at the same time. But this is loan collateralization and blending so that you can offer a final product at the end of the day.
I look at all of this. You're right, Dave. And I look at all of this as this is proof of work, right? Proof that these things work and that it can be done. They have to do it. They have to test this in some way. I think it's fabulous. I really do. I think this is so much fun. And I am keenly interested to see how this progresses. And I can't wait to see every time you open the screen and share with us. And there's more horses there. I'm just going to be worried about where you're keeping them. There's no stable in Decentraland.
Well, I have created a stable on Zrun, but like I was saying earlier, my technical skills are definitely what's lagging for me. So I've actually messed up in that I've set up my account on the ETH blockchain and with my one wallet, but then I have another wallet which I set up specifically for Zed, so they'd be completely separate from all my other holdings. So now I am working with customer support or the group to try and get it connected correctly, because like I could race. One of the big things is with this horse that I have is it's bred from two Genesis horses, so that's the bloodline that tends to be the fastest. So like I could race him and he could be worth more to me after I raced him just to stud him out than he would be to just hold, right? So I'm not sure, but I'm kind of holding off on the racing because as someone who's new, I'd much rather buy a horse that's never been raced and get that chance to experience it. And that's kind of what this guy does on Twitter, because he's obviously got a crazy stable. He's been doing it. And I found a lot of guys are from Australia, it seems, which is where the product originated from, like where the development team is. And it's been out since 2019 and it's still in its beta. So like, it's kind of crazy that it's 2 years old and it's still just scratching the surface of what it is. And it's only launched about half of the Genesis horses that they'll only have so many. And those are the ones I'm really focused on. And I'm really interested in how does the drop in ETH affect the price of the horse? In the sense, does that mean that you need to put more ETH in to buy a horse? Or does it just mean that in the end, the cost of the horse will go down? Because right now, every time ETH goes up or down, my original cost to buy that horse changes, right?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it because I'm like, I want to get in. But it will be really interesting to see how that relationship affects one another, because it's an NFT that you can race. And he's been on the show, Dave, and his name's Tim, and he's always said to me, like almost preached like utility. And when I showed him this, he's like, an NFT that you can race. He's like, you might have got me, like, because that's what he always wants. He's like, what do you do with it? And then so on the other side is I've been on OpenSea, like looking at horses, and like I've already made a number of offers. I've moved some money over just so that if offers go through, I've actually put on one for a Genesis horse, which is, the most rare ones. And I've been digging through these NFTs, pixelated ones and that. And I can't I'd love to have a CryptoPunk in the sense that I'd love to have one that's worth $100,000. I can't buy that. What I'm looking for is it's just
a little pixel arts.
Yeah. But I am looking at some of these newer ones that come out and see if I can maybe grab one or two, like from different areas, to pull in. And one was I can't remember what it's called, but they're koalas. And I was like, who doesn't love koalas? Like this could take off. And I was looking at them and it'd be like $250, but there's no buy now feature, right? They're all bids. And that's the thing is that I think does stop a lot of people, is that you can't just be like, you know what? You said it's this. I'm going to buy it because I want it. I'll pay that price. Bang. There's very few of those. And I think that makes people very hesitant, because then it's like, oh, your bid expires in 7 days. So 7 days will expire, or 3 days, whatever variable you put in, before your offer expires. And I think that's going to be something that does kind of limit why people engage in NFTs and things like that, because there's a possibility that you're just going to keep getting bid up.
Well, and I'm still in the frame of mind that I can't figure out. Like, it's sort of like I can't hold it myself. Like, I don't know it, and that
Yeah, but you can't hold Bitcoin either.
I know. I don't know why this one though boggles my mind.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Hand me. There you go. Yes.
With art,
there you go.
With art, though, I love art. I go to galleries. I go to museums. I've got a degree in history. I studied theater as well. Like, it's something that I love and I have a passion for, and I think that's why I gravitate towards NFTs. But in the artistic world, you're supposed to look at it on a wall and then talk to someone and be like, right? And I think right now it's hard for people to see that because people won't even look at it as art,
Right.
Because it's an NFT. But if you look back in time, were not all the greatest artists crazy?
On
No
drugs.
one wanted anything to do with them. They didn't sell except for friends that pitied them. They didn't sell any artwork. And then they disappear. And then all of a sudden they are the next thing.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen with digital art, not necessarily NFTs. I think NFTs and art will go together on the very high-end art. I think NFTs are very accessible, which is pretty cool. But I think it's a matter of time before the art community starts flocking, because it always takes time for people to reframe. And if you look at new styles of art, they don't come out and everyone's like, "Oh my God, like that is like everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
That." And then
No,
10 years later, they're like, oh, look at that. Like, and that's what I think is happening not only with crypto, but especially in artistic realm of crypto.
So I can contribute a little bit on this. I don't know whether any of you guys know about the habits of the elite when it comes to wealth preservation and taxes. Art is a huge haven for, one, increasing wealth, and two, storing wealth, and three, collateralizing wealth. And
Really?
so art as a whole, you look into this, it's a crazy industry. Not downing art or anything. I'm not an artist and I understand it, but a lot of what art is today, when you see these people with $1 or $100 million paintings, it's not that it's like, it's pretty hard to justify being worth 100 million in the first place anyway. It's a painting, but it's not actually worth that. It is an agreed upon price by elite and the art community to allow an asset to increase in value so that the owner can benefit off of that without paying taxes. By which I mean things like, we'll say, $100 million painting that goes up by $10 million in value every year because of its rarity, because some guy said it's worth 50 million 10 years ago or whatever. And so as the value of these things go up, the elite store these in their private collection, not only to look at, but because it holds wealth as a collateralizing value against debt. And this is one of the way that they preserve the wealth, where they will take the $100 million painting as collateral and say, I would like a $1 million loan against this thing that somebody says is worth 100 million. The bank says, okay, well, your asset has to go down 99% in value before you would potentially become a risk of losing me money. So they get an extremely low percentage interest rate on that $1 million loan. The asset value goes up by 10% or 10 million. Their value of that loan has only gone up by 1% in interest, because that's all the bank is charging them. It's very, very low risk. So you've gained 9% that year in value on that asset. And the next year you can ask for another $1 million loan, and they give it to you for another 1%, and it goes up by another 10%. So you're basically getting $1 million forked out to you as a loan, which is not taxable because you're not selling anything. And you can constantly over and over. This is why all of these elite assets go up in value. Jeff Bezos doesn't have a $10 billion yacht because he needs a $10 billion yacht. It is $10 billion worth of collateral that goes up in value. That is how they use these. And NFTs will eventually become a haven for doing the exact same thing. That is easier to move, permanent possession and ownership of it. And as people pump those prices up artificially, they will be able to collateralize that for a low interest loan from the bank as they continue to increase in price, and provided that the value of that asset goes up more than the cost of that loan each year, the bank will continually collateralize it and loan more money against it.
That's how people do it with real estate too. It's no darn different.
Yep.
It's no darn different. Anybody that's sitting and thinking, oh, let me pay off my house right now when the interest rates are so darn low, it's not actually the smartest thing to do. It's better to take and have as much debt. Now you got to be able to service the debt. Let's just preface it that way. But you got to be able to service the debt, but it's better off to get your money out and get it moving around, because you can do that all tax-free, and it's no darn different. I don't know why I never made the correlation, but you're so right, Dave. That is exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's it. It is the best way for them to keep money going. And it's the same thing when you have, where this is theoretical, but we have, the market pumps a huge amount. You've made your $2 million, $5 million, $10 million off your portfolio, whatever that is. Do not sell it. If value stabilize, utility takes hold, do not sell it, because you will immediately incur capital gains tax. But if you take that portfolio to a bank that's worth 10 million and you ask for a $100,000 loan at 1%, and you're expecting that portfolio to grow more than 1% in value, you can just hold your assets, not pay any capital gains tax, get $100,000 a year like you would from a dividends portfolio that you just had to flip your $5 million you actually got home with. So you can literally have all of the benefits of flipping it into some stable income asset like a rental property, like a dividends portfolio. And as long as it continues to go up by more than what the bank gives you as an interest rate, you will never have to pay taxes. And that is how the elite get away with this.
You know what? And now I'm thinking back, now that we're talking about this, to that conversation we had last week or the week before about Kevin O'Leary talking about why he's pushing to have all of his rare watch collection done in an NFT format. He was going on, oh, it's for insurance. It isn't for insurance. If he can get that stuff all done in NFTs, and then he can take that and showcase it, and as long as those rare watches continue to go up, he can then, because he's got all the paper that says these are rare NFTs, then he can borrow against that entire collection, which is something he tax-free, which, okay, so speaking of which, the banks,
another sleepless night.
The banks, we went to the Royal Bank and took our little silver bar that we got. Ryan was talking to us about getting into silver a few weeks ago, so we did it. We got into silver. We took it to the bank. We got a safety deposit box to put a bunch of stuff in the safety deposit box, and we put our silver bar in there. And I said to the bank manager, I would like to eventually use some of this as collateral for something else. No, we can't do that. I'm like, what? What do you mean you can't do that? No, we can only collateralize what you buy from the Royal Bank, and we have to hold the silver. So when you extrapolate that to this NFT conversation, Kevin O'Leary currently today cannot go to the Royal Bank or to any other banking institution and say, I have this watch collection. How do they verify that he's got the watch collection? He's going to need those NFTs to verify on a blockchain that he still has ownership of that in order for the banks to be able to lend them. I've just connected all the dots. This is the best
certificate of ownership, and then the actual asset that certificate goes with. That's what this is for. That's what NFTs are meant for.
Wow, I've just made the connection.
Oh dear.
Yep. So again, anybody listening, do not sell your crypto. Do not sell it. Keep it if you can, and provided it continues to go up, collateralize it against a small loan. Don't take $1 million on 10 million. Take like $100,000 on 10 million, and you'll do fine.
But that's the question, Dave. Is how do you collateralize your crypto when the mindset of the banks right now is crypto has no value? It's so volatile. I understand that, but how do we get there?
When adoption takes place, they're going to start out by accepting it, because again, no bank is going to turn down money, and if there's an active market for it, and you deposit those assets into the bank's custodied account, they will then have the ability to leverage that and trade them themselves. They will start making money off of your holdings, just like staking on the open market, not a native staking coin like Algo where you just get passive income and hold it in your wallet, but one where you must deposit the coins into a platform and they reserve them for X amount of months. They make tons of money trading your tokens.
Yep.
Of course, if everybody wants to withdraw all of their tokens at the same time, there's not enough left in the market because everybody's holding and trading them, so you can't get your tokens out. So staking is risky, but essentially the banks will be able to, and I think the way they're going to do it is they are going to, first off, once regulations hit and they can actually start using and moving crypto, they are going to create institutional grade accounts, and they are going to allow consumers to deposit and buy crypto within a bank held account, just like you open your Royal Bank or BMO app. I think that is how it's going to work.
Yeah.
And one of the things, again, banks are going to win. They do not want decentralization. They are going to demand that anybody who has the assets is given a grandfather period of a year or 2 or 3, and you must have all of your assets contained within a bank or government issued wallet before this date. And if you don't, anybody caught with it out of those wallets, or secondary issued wallets from the bank that you can still have on your phone and stuff, but it must be controlled by the bank. At that point, they will then be able to say, anybody outside of that zone, you've had 2 years, anybody caught trading or any addresses that are located outside of that, we can disable. And then at that point, they lock down the entire system, and they can then collateralize because they are the ones holding the master accounts and doing volume trading, just like market makers do right now. That's how I think things are going to go. It's not ideal. Again, it goes against the entire principle of crypto and Bitcoin and trying to get rid of the banks and governments. They're going to win. It is like, not to be pessimistic, but they are going to win. And that is how I think they're going to win.
That's kind of disheartening.
No,
It is. It is.
Somebody will invent another blockchain, and it'll be a secret blockchain, just like the dark web.
Well, like the pirate coin. Pirate
It'll
coin, right?
It'll
And I
happen.
think the biggest thing is even though you create another coin, accepting it. Again, you can have phone apps that you just transfer, scan QR codes, and send it to each other's phones, which means, pirate coin. Pirate coin, you can spend pirate coin with other people who accept pirate coin, and that's kind of your market. But can you spend your pirate coin on eBay? No. On Amazon? No. At your grocery store? No. So yes, there will be, not necessarily for illegitimate or illegal things like buying drugs or whatever else you're doing. That's fine. Yes, that'll work for it. But anything that is considered broad across the industry that the average person, like right now, it's less than 1% of the world is focused on trying to take down the government with crypto. And the next 99% just want to buy their groceries with it. That's the problem. So 1% of the market will be pirate coin and other things only to other pirate coin users. And that will be the hit that the governments will take. But 99% of people don't want to do what we're all doing right now. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to do it. They just want to see $100 buy. That's all they care about is the number and the buy and sell button to do whatever transaction they have on a daily basis or tap their phone. They don't care. That's the thing. To get 99% of the world to care is going to be impossible.
So it creates what we have now in the fiat world of an underground economy that is I'll launder your money, which is exactly what they're talking about. But they're forced. They're almost to a certain degree pointing certain parts of society that direction anyway.
Yeah, they are. And I think one of the other things is trying to convert, say, pirate coin, an illegitimate token for underground trading and purchasing and buying and selling. The only way to convert it would be to find essentially we'll call it a fence, just like the people who buy and sell stolen things, a fence to say, here's this bar of gold, and I spend my pirate coin with the guy selling me a bar of gold at 10% above market value so that I can have a physical asset to go send to a pawn shop who then gives me it in US CBDC coins at 10% below market value. So I can take a 20% hit buying and selling whatever asset that isn't considered tracked. But again, we're also talking, if they want to do NFTs, gold bars have serial numbers. They're just going to issue an NFT that has the serial number of that gold bar. And if you don't have the NFT, you can't sell it at the bank.
Then,
so
that's exactly
that brings up a good point. So if this is CBDCs, does that now make a case that people will now potentially, or could be potentially, or is there a case to be made, however you want to look at it, that people will now be more drawn to gold, or not gold, well, maybe gold, but silver coins to go back and forth with, because it's you can't trace the silver coin.
And again, I think it's going to eventually be serialized coins even, and that sounds ridiculous. However, I don't know how many silver and gold coins there are in the world, but as you process it and move it through, as they want to collateralize physical assets using NFTs, you can just remelt a coin or laser engrave a QR code that gives you your digital linked NFT certificate with it to prove its ownership. And when you scan the code, either your phone owns the coin or it doesn't own the coin because it's connected or not connected to your wallet. So there's ways to get around that with physical assets, but I believe that eventually they are going to NFT pretty much any kind of asset. And it's not going to be immediate. There's still going to be gold coins buried in somebody's bunker that aren't NFT'd, where maybe somebody is willing to accept a partial value for whatever that's worth. And depending on what those assets also go up to, they're not easily divisible. Like a gold coin, as nice as it sounds to invest in whatever we pay like $3,000 or something, 2,800, $3,000 for a gold coin, it's a terrible idea because you have to find somebody or something that costs exactly $2,800 to spend that coin, or they have to be willing to compromise and give you more items than what you wanted, or they have to have, let's just say you're buying a $500 watch. They've got to give you a $500 watch and then find $2,300 in cash. So they're not divisible like crypto or even currency is today, where you can have pennies or 5 cents in our case. But even the gold, they call them combi bars, where it's basically like a flat chocolate bar where you break off into 50 pieces of 1 ounce of gold. So it's 1/50 of an ounce. It costs $40 or $50 or something per little tiny mini chocolate square of gold. But you still have to find something that's either worth $50, somebody can give you more than what you wanted and you spend more than you wanted, or they have to give you a refund of the difference in whatever. Yeah. So trying to take that, it's great if you want to have $100,000 in gold and again, deal with a bank, dealing with an institution, because that's easy to deal with. But to find somebody who even has $100 cash in their pocket right now to make up the difference on a gold coin or a silver coin that'll be worth, $40 or $50 down the road, people won't have that.
Yeah, no, all of this is fascinating. And I think where I think this is going is right now, and Anthony Pompliano says it all the time, they don't really have a handle on how much money is in circulation. And I think that's causing a lot of problems in the world, whether it's inflation, deflation, that whole 9 yards. And at least, as horrible as this is with them doing all of this, eventually they will have a handle on what's out there, because it won't be considered tradable, legal, or anything else unless it's got some kind of it's itemized on a blockchain.
To be criminals are the governments. So
right. Yep. That's it. So anyways, it's been there's so much to this, but it's fascinating, and I love talking about it because you can see the future unfolding in front of our eyes if we allow ourselves to. Tim's got something he wants to say.
So I'm just going to change gears here. And Ryan, I think Ryan's still here. Ryan, did you get anything like this in the mail today?
Did anybody get anything
Did anybody
in the
get
mail?
This in the mail today?
And
has signed up for Wealthsimple. Just put it in the comments, because I got this in the mail today and I opened it up, and lo and behold, look, it's a freaking Visa card, a Wealthsimple Visa card.
Did you have a look to see what status you're at on their card right now?
No, I haven't used Wealthsimple in God knows how long. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, but you're on their waiting list for a Visa, are you not?
For Wealthsimple?
Shakepay.
Shakepay, I am.
It's got a number, it's got an expiry, it's got a CVV number, it's got everything to it. So
don't worry, you didn't show the world. I was watching your card. So.
Okay, good, because we have security issues here. But yeah, no, we open it up. Yeah, exactly. No, Dave's got the security thing all taken care of. But we would be curious to see
if anyone else got one of these. I'd love to know. I have. Mine was sent to an old. Oh, okay. So Ryan, you did get. Okay. Okay. All right.
Oh, anybody with a cash account.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I didn't ask for it, but I got it. Anyway.
I'm curious. I think it's really cool. I
don't
wonder.
want another Visa card except a Shakepay one.
I think
wonder
it's
if it's got
dangerous.
rewards.
Yeah.
It's the problem with this is that all, like, especially if we're talking cash account or if your crypto is actually linked to it, every single crypto sale is a commodities sale or trade, which is taxable under capital gains. So anybody who's buying and selling crypto using your card, buying stuff at the store, you're not just paying 13%. You're supposed to be reporting every transaction as a capital gains transaction. In addition to that, no one should be spending crypto at all, bar none, because the audit nightmare you are going to experience cannot be put into words. You are mixing two whole different taxes, and nobody even thinks twice about records keeping with that.
Yeah, I actually started to put some of my stuff onto Coin Tracer, which I had to connect a wallet, so on and so forth. But it's for income tax purposes to show me what I bought it at, my gains, my unrealized gains or losses for the year, so on and so forth. So thank God I did that, because it was starting to get out of hand. I mean, Neil was talking about having 2 exchanges and numerous coins on it, and you can just imagine pulling your hair out, right?
Well, so Rye's saying it's fiat based, so it's probably just kind of like a prepaid credit card where you have to deposit money into the card. But if I'm assuming there's going to be an option to sell your stocks and your crypto and convert that into your cash account in the app, at which point you can spend it as though.
Oh, okay. There is no tie to the Wealthsimple. Oh,
yeah. Okay. So Rye, so you're saying that yes, you can sell your crypto and deposit that money into your cash account, which can then be spent using the Visa?
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Not yet. Okay. Because that, if you're doing that, that's still capital gains. That's, yeah. It's going to be a nightmare. Like people with the crypto.com card and that kind of thing.
Right.
It's cool to spend my crypto. Like, that's awesome. I can keep all my money in crypto. Well, all you're doing is just tacking on capital gains tax to your entire net worth. That's all you're doing by doing that every single day. And then you have to keep 20 different records every day by the time you go through your whole daily routine and everything you buy. So it's a nightmare.
And that's the next thing that's going to hit this whole arena is taxes. Like they're so busy, focused on this and that. We haven't even got to the nightmare, which will probably happen in the new year, of people getting, this and that on taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is this no stock involved, literally a prepaid Visa? So, this could be one of those things where you need to, if you are an unbanked individual and you don't want to have a predetermined credit limit, and you need to go and you want to buy a new bicycle, and the bicycle's $500, you would take the $500, deposit it to Wealthsimple, and then you could use that. I'm thinking that's the way that's how that would be used.
It's attached to the Cash App that Rye was using for his giveaways. Remember he was doing the giveaways?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's attached to that actual app.
Mm.
So you could deposit $500 into that account if you wanted to, and then use that card that they sent you with the $500 on it.
Awesome.
And
Christina
is just going to expand.
Chris Jones, sorry. Chris Jones says, anyone know if there's taxes on NFT purchases for appreciated ETH? I think it's what Dave just said, and Dave, you can confirm that. As long you can buy, as long as you don't sell.
So the way this works is that any sale or trade. So let's just say NDAX doesn't offer it, but it's who I use. So NDAX, you deposit your Canadian money using your debit card into the account. You purchase NFT for 0.1 ETH, whatever its value is, and it goes up to 1 ETH. There's no taxes owed until you sell it. So that's when you have the difference that you have earned in profit is taxable under capital gains income. But if you bought ETH at 0.1 ETH and it goes up to 1 ETH, and then you spend that 1 ETH to buy an NFT, you owe capital gains as soon as you flipped out of ETH into another asset. It is any movement, like in any direction of any type, swap, exchange, purchase, sale, anything other than you changing Canadian dollars and buying something. At that point, taxes start. Everything you do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yikes.
Just going back to this again, because Ryan's given more info at saying it's upping the usage with Wealthsimple. It's a gimmick essentially, but nothing outside of the Cash App. It is tied to the card. So no ties to stocks or crypto accounts, just so that everybody's clear about that, because, you know, we want to make sure that we provide answers. And thank you, Ryan, for jumping in on that, because it was a bit of a shock when we got it today. Tim thought I was asking for more credit card stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not touching that. Anyways.
But seriously, anybody else with any of the other cards, like the crypto.com, the spend your crypto cards, do not use them. That is an audit waiting to happen, and it is going to be brutal. Do not touch buy with crypto cards.
Yeah, really, really good. And then Marie Claude said, I'm going to have to rewatch this. It's too many beers, I think. I think it's been...
Too many what?
Well, she might have had too many beers. But I was going to say, on that note, honestly, we've jumped around and we've covered a lot of things tonight. This has been super as far as information. Everything from Neil, like, honestly, I love these the conversations about what you're doing with the horses. I think that is really exciting stuff, and I'm keenly interested to hear how this goes. Dave, this has been amazing to have you yet again to talk about crypto and your crypto holding, and you've been a fabulous contributor tonight, and we really hope you come and join us again. For everybody that again, wait just a second. I want to put up anybody that's just joining us is a little late to the party. This amazing little invention that I know it's hard to. Yeah. It's hard to say. It's hard to see. We got our little Arkplate vault. Ken was instrumental in helping us find you, Dave, and so I highly recommend you go back and watch. I think it was 2 Sundays ago we had Dave on, and he really did a deep dive on what these are, and we highly recommend that you go. And Tim and I don't get any benefit out of referring this. We just believe that this is such a good invention that you all should, for security purposes,
supporting local,
and we're supporting local Canadian innovation, because keeping yourself safe in the crypto world is highly recommended by our community. And Ken, as always, you were fun to have on, and I love having your input. And we really hope that tonight everybody has a great night. Oh my gosh.
COVID.
Oh, no, don't have that, thankfully. I swallowed, my swallow went down the wrong way.
How do you know?
Anyways, thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday on Crypto Night in Canada. Night, everybody.
Night.
Night.